Hello everyone, back to today's second video. So already done the 5-day forecast. You can find the video to that on the homepage. Just scroll down the page a little bit and it's there underneath the link ads. There's also the written version which you can get to via the button at the top of the page. This is BCC Wednesday, so we're going to have a look at the next 40 days with the long range model from the Beijing Climate Centre. It's going to take us into the middle part of October, so we're going to go into the second month of the autumn with this particular update. As I always say, long-range forecasting is highly experimental. These models are pushing the envelope, pushing the boundaries of what is possible, but it's always useful to have a look at them. The charts are there, might as well see what they're showing, but as ever, take everything that you see in these long-range updates with a pinch of salt. So, before you get on with that, just to say about the ads at Gas Office, so sleep articles on all the pages, have a browse widgets and click through the links. You'll be helping us to pay for the website, and thanks very much for doing that. There's also video ads on those pages, which own content when you watch regulars, but again, doesn't have to pay for GasWorthVids.com. You can find the link to the Beijing Climate Centre, both the shorter range month ahead model and also the long range model, which is a new version of the Beijing Climate Centre model. You can find the link to all of that on the links page, so check it out if you haven't yet done so. I'm going to start off with 500 millibar heights, broken down into 10-day periods of now. Have a look at the corresponding temperature and precipitation anomalies that go with these 500 millibar heights. As you know, with 500 millibar heights, blue extrapolates to low pressure, and the brighter colours, red, orange, extrapolates to high pressure. Right, I think we better get on with it. I'm just going to switch this over so that goes there, and we'll get on with it. So we're going to start off with the 500 millibar heights for the next 10 days, first 10 days. First of all, this takes us from the 6th through to the 15th of September. So this one is placing quite a big ridge around the UK and extending it into the east as well. And they've got low pressure in the Atlantic with a trough there. I'm just really doing something like that. So it looks pretty warm and quite anticyclonic, and winds are in from the south and southeast with that as well. So pretty warm and dry. What is going on, though, is that with time, this trough in the Atlantic is moving through like that and breaking down the ridge. Check out the 5-day forecast for more about that. Now we go through the next 10-day period, which will take us from the 16th through the 25th of September. A little bit different with this one. We've got a ridge in the central part of the Atlantic now, and it's extending almost to the north of the UK, and a trough underneath it. So this implies a more easterly flow, I would have thought. And it could be more unsettled for the south of the country, particularly. There's a Scandinavian high over here backing into the Baltic and western parts of Russia. But I think this trough down to the south, just here, that could be bringing more unsettled conditions to southern parts of the country, interestingly, with a bit of an easterly flow going on there. Now, go through the next 10-day period. It goes from the 26th of September through to the 5th of October, and heights come back very strongly then. So the end of September into October implied to be very anticyclonic, lots and lots of high pressure going on there. Could be very dry. Temperatures likely to be above average, but of course nights getting longer now, so we could be getting some cooler nights underneath this ridge. But the main thing is that it does look very anticyclonic there as we're going through to the end of September, start of October. The final 10-day period, which is days 31 to 40, this takes us from the 6th through to the 15th of October. A little bit of a change with this one. The above average heights are retrogressing, interestingly, which is where we take the high pressure from east to west as opposed to the normal zonal west to east flow. So the high pressure looks like it's retrogressing up towards Iceland and Greenland. There's a trough in the central part of the Atlantic. So I would have thought this is a transitional period, probably taking high pressure up towards there, probably bringing low pressure in from the Atlantic. So I would have thought the implication of this, it's fairly weak still, but the implication is probably as it's going more in towards October, it'll be turning increasingly unsettled and possibly, just possibly, quite cool as well. We'll have a look at temperature on anomalies next. So these are the first temperature anomalies for the next 10 days. It's going from the 6th through to the 15th of September, days 1 through 10. And what we see is that we've got significantly warmer than average temperatures coming up. That makes sense, particularly in the next few days. It's going to be significantly above average. It will turn a bit cooler over the weekend. We get through to the next 10-day period, which is the 16th through 25th of September, days 11 through to 20. And we're much closer to average then. You wouldn't say it's cooler than average. There's a scale on the side, so we're in those cream-coloured, cream colours. So that's just a little bit above average for that 10-day period. But it is significantly cooler than the 10 days that precedes it. The next 10-day period, going from 26th through to the 5th, which is days 21 to 30, that one, again, above average. That's with high pressure centred over top of the country, of course. So what you could get there is coolish nights being offset by warmish days. And then finally, days 31 to 40, which is the 6th, which is 15th of October, that one being signalled to go cooler than average. And I expected that. It does look, though it's transition, it does look significantly cooler, and I would have thought more unsettled based on the height anomaly. So precipitation for the next 40 days looking like this: days 1 to 10 generally coming out drier than average across the country. Again, that does make sense. We go through to days 11 to 20, which is the 16th, 25th of September, and still a little bit drier than average, but certainly more rainfall. So what's happening there is that it's more unsettled from the 16th, 25th. It's still a bit warmer than average, but it's a lot cooler. It's a bit drier than average still, but it's a lot wetter compared to the 10 days that precedes it. And then we go through to the 26th through to the 5th of October, which is days 30, which is day 21 to 30, and that one looks drier than average. That's as the ridge is building up, inflating around the country for the end of the month, start of October. And then we finish up days 31 to 40, the 6th through to 15th of October, going generally sort of a little bit drier than average. I thought that could be a bit wetter than that. Remember, it is transitional, so later on in that period, I would have thought it does go more towards unsettled conditions. It's a bit of a mixed bag today from Beijing Climate Centre. No particular weather type dominating the pattern, although it does look fairly dry, I suppose, overall. And temperatures generally coming out a little bit warmer than the average as well. So the broad headlines probably fairly warm and dry for the next month. But there will be variations within that. There will be unsettled periods quite clearly. And later on, particularly getting towards October, maybe a more definitive signal to turn cooler and more unsettled then. As I said at the beginning, as ever, long-range forecasting is highly experimental, so it's just heads up what modelling is showing today. It could look very different next week. On Friday, we'll be doing JMA Friday, which will take a look at the next month with the Japanese and CFS-V2 models as well. Tomorrow, we're going to do the week to 10-day look ahead, so come back for that. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.